Today we're gonna make Irish Death beer and beef stew. Now this is a traditional Irish stew that brings together the richness of beer and a really flavorful chuck roast, but it's a really non-traditional way for you to celebrate your St. Patrick's Day. We're gonna braise our roast in a bit of beef broth and our beer along with lots of fresh vegetables, paired with a little soda bread at the end of the day. This is a great cozy way to celebrate with your family. When you take your roast out of the package, take a moment to just pat it dry with a paper towel. Removing some of the excess surface moisture will help it brown and develop an even richer flavor when you put it into your pan. You're simply gonna break down your chuck roast into nice, generous bite-sized pieces. We're aiming for about 1 inch cubed. Now, as you cut down your roast, you can also do a bit of trimming of the exterior fat. Chuck roast is great because it's a really great value, but it also has really rich flavor. With all of our roast cut into nice bite-sized chunks, we're gonna go ahead and season with a bit of salt and pepper. Fresh cracked is best, but if you have it in the shaker, that's fine. And some kosher salt. Now, if you don't want to take the step of cutting your own stew meat, you can also purchase stew meat. We're gonna add a little bit of oil to our piping hot pan, and we're gonna cook off this beef in small batches. We don't want to create too much moisture inside the pan. So you're looking to develop a deep brown crust on as many sides of these beef cubes as possible. Gently move them around the pan and watch them pick up color and flavor. When the first batch of beef has developed nice, rich brown color, you're gonna go ahead and remove it from the pan and start browning your second batch of beef. You might need to add a little bit more oil. With the second batch of beef browning, we're gonna get started on prepping our veggies. We're gonna add our chopped onions into our pan that the beef just came out of. It's still hot, the oil's in there, and we have all of the drippings from our beef. I'm gonna smash a couple cloves of garlic to add to the pan, and we'll start cutting up our mushrooms as well. You're just gonna cut down your mushrooms until they're bite-sized. For some, it might be in half, and for the bigger ones, maybe into quarters. You're just gonna let your onions, mushroom, and garlic saute in this nice hot pan until everything begins to soften and the onions pick up a nice golden brown color. So we're just gonna dice our vegetables. I've got a rutabaga, parsnip, and some red potatoes that we're gonna add to this stew. Our onions are nice and rich brown, and the moisture is really starting to cook off of them. So we're gonna add an entire can of Irish Death beer. This is gonna deglaze the can and develop a really rich, deep base flavor. Let the Irish Death work its magic and lift all those little bits of brown flavor off the bottom of your pan. You'll see the bubbles will start to simmer down and everything will come up to the same temperature before we add the rest of our ingredients. We're gonna add a tablespoon of tomato paste, some more fresh cracked black pepper, salt, and a little bit of dried thyme. To this, we're gonna add the rest of our vegetables and our beef. In go the vegetables, in goes the beef. along with any juices that might have accumulated. After giving all of this a quick stir, we're just gonna add some beef broth to cover our stew. It should take about 3 or 4 cups. Give everything one last stir, tuck all those veggies and the beef in under the surface of the broth. Go ahead and set your lid on nice and tight and leave this at medium heat for the next 2 hours and just let all those flavors come together. You're gonna have a great beef stew at the end of the night. Once your stew has simmered on the stovetop for at least a couple hours, the beef is nice and tender and all the flavors from your vegetables and our Irish Death beer have come together. You're simply gonna serve this up with a couple thick slices of Irish soda bread and Irish Death beer on the side. Happy St. Patrick's Day from Washington's family farmers and ranchers. To discover the rest of our St. Patrick's Day recipes, click on the link below.